All right, all the videos we've done so far, here, here, and here, they're all review. And, review's helpful because actually I sat down at like my cockpit control panel here and I'm like, all right, what's going on? Again, because I'm still learning statistics. And by the way, if you want to learn statistics really well, you should teach it. Teach it to somebody, seriously. Like, go volunteer to be a tutor after this semester of statistics. And that's really going to reinforce this stuff. Otherwise, it might just be like information in and you moved on from it. But if you go to the tutorial center on campus or reach out to them, you could apply to be a tutor and they'll pay you, and then you could have your textbook, and then people will come to you from my class and you'll be like, yeah, I totally was in that class, I watched all the videos, I went through the book. And you'll have a little bit more understanding than them. You'll still need to figure it out some, but you could just approach it. You could just say, hey, I'm still figuring it out too, and Todd told me to come be a tutor so that it would help reinforce it. That'd be a great thing. You'll make some money, and a lot of that tutoring can happen on Zoom. So you just have your hours, and if somebody zooms in, you help them. And if not, I think you still get paid. So you might work like 4 hours, and you'd be sitting there doing your homework, right? And then if somebody zooms in, you got to help them, but you might be there doing your homework in other classes for 4 hours getting paid, and nobody zoomed in, and you still got paid. I'm not sure how it works. That's my speculation. I think that is how it works, though, just from everything I understand about this world after 53 years. All right, now we're going to talk about expected variable and standard deviation. So if like this is the different probability that I have here, then how do I calculate the mean? And again, here statistics is going to be a little bit confusing and convoluted and inconsistent because they aren't just calling this the mean, they aren't calling it the average of the variable, right? Like what is the average? What is the average of all of this? What is the mean? So the average of all of that, if I was just to take that, Control C, and then come over here and come here and come here and come here, and I want to go to spreadsheets, and we are in 5, so I'm going to create a new folder, 05, and I'm going to go into that new folder. I'm going to create a new Google Sheets right there, create and share. And in this new Google Sheets, I'm just going to do a Control Shift V to paste all those numbers. I'm going to come up here and zoom in 200, and then here I'm going to add all that up. And so if I add all this up, we already know it's going to be 1, right? And so why did that not work? Oh, because I didn't sum it. I'm going to do sum. Just a second. Equals sum, and there we go. What did it do? So it summed all that up. And if I look at my formula, it's A1 through A6, A1 through A6, sum all that up, it gives me 1. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I have equals to 1 divided by 6, I'm going to get like 0.167 as my average. But you will see here that is not the average they came up with. We just did 1.67. They got 1.5. And that's because what they want is a weighted average. So I'm going to come over here and Control C, all of that. And I'm going to come back over here and then Control Shift V, all of that. But I turned it into this output. So I'm going to do Control Z for undo. Control Z and then Control V to paste it. And it pasted in like that. But now if I press Control C, come over here, Control Shift V, that pasted in like that. So there's some shortcuts there. And the shortcuts were Control C for copy, Control V for paste. So here, and I'm just going to delete these here for a second. Delete, boom. And it was Control C for copy. There's Control C. You see it right there. It was Control V for paste. And then there's also Control Shift V right there for paste special, which is only pasting the values. I'm just pasting the values. And so I just played between Control C, Control V, and Control Shift V to get my data over here. And so the first time I grab this data right here and I copy that, if I bring it in here, Control C to copy it, and then come over here and Control V to paste it, it pastes it in with formatting. So the other one I used here was undo, which is Control Z. So I'm going to do Control Z there on my keyboard, Control Z, undo that. And I'm going to do Control Shift V to paste that just the values, and it's not going to bring in the formatting. Control Shift V, paste it without formatting. That's how I got like my first numbers. It's actually the probability, but whatever. I just brought over these cards. And then the next one was like, I want all of this, right? And when I copied all of this, Control C, and then I come over here, and then I paste it in here, Control V. It brought in the formatting. I don't want that. Control Z to undo that. Control Shift V to paste it without formatting. I don't want that, right? Like that doesn't work for me. So Control Z to undo that. Control V to copy it. It brought in the formatting, but it also put it into the right columns, 2 columns. So I could copy it again here in Excel, Control C, and then I could come down here or wherever I want to put it, and I could do a Control Shift V, and this time it got rid of the formatting and it kept the columns. So all I did there was play on Control C for copy, Control V for paste, and Control Shift V for paste special, and some Control Z for undo. And I was able to bring data from here over to here and get it the way I want. And I'm going to select all this, right click it, and choose delete all of those columns, just get rid of them. So now that I have that, it wants us to calculate a weighted average of the deviations. Well, that's for this. So expected value is a summation of the probability of something happening also times the value, right? So the variable times the probability of that variable. So if we multiply each of these together, it's going to be equal to this times that. Boom, and there we go. And then I'm just going to go with autofill on that. I'll just hit a check mark, and I'll do Control backtick. And so Control backtick is view, show, formulas right here. Control backtick. You see that? Control backtick. Control backtick will show me my formulas. And so what I have here is all those formulas. Now if I sum all that up, equals sum, and I'm going to sum up all of this, I should get 1.5. So that's my mean. That's my expected value of the variable, right? Of this variable. What's the expected value for the number of cars that DeCarlo Motors is going to sell each day? It's 1.5. All right, like if I'm the manager, like how is this useful? It's a descriptive, it's a numeric statistic. It's a numeric descriptive statistic. That's a better way to say it. It's a numeric descriptive statistic, right? And this numeric descriptive statistic, as opposed to a visual descriptive statistic, this numeric descriptive statistic is going to tell me if like we're doing okay as a dealership. If I'm selling 1.5 cars a day, like I know that that's my expected value for the number of cars we're going to sell. That's my mean for the number of cars we're going to sell is 1.5 per day. Okay, based upon these probabilities. And if this starts going up, I know we're doing great. But if it starts going down, I got to figure out why it's going down. So this is where statistics helps us like run a business. Just like you're a pilot in a cockpit of an airplane, I don't know, Airbus 350-900. Let's just see what that looks like. Is that the really big one? Airbus 350-900. Let me see, man. Is this the big one? What's the biggest? Come on, ChatGPT. What's the biggest passenger airline? Nope, that's not what I want. Airbus, what is it? 350, 900. Airbus 350, 900. Let it think. 380, 800 is the world's largest passenger airline. So we're going to go with this one here. And then we'll right click that and choose search Google. And then we'll take a look at the images. And yeah, that's a big looking airplane. Wow, look at that. That's so cool. I'm going to open this image in a new tab. I just got to check that out. That is swanky. Wow, that's really nice, man. That's really cool. And here's another one. Look, you got seats upstairs, you got seats downstairs. Look at that big bird. That is amazing. And then here's inside the plane. I don't know why it's flying. That's got to be Photoshop right there. But look at how big it is. That's such a cool looking plane. But anyhow, my point being, cockpit. Here's the cockpit of that big bird. We'll go to this one here. I don't know why it's in the sky. Nobody's in these seats. That'd make me a little bit concerned. But if I was up there, wow, look at that cockpit. Is that right? No, that's just a strange. Maybe that's right. I don't know. That's a really weird photo. Here's another picture of the cockpit. That's a nice photo of the cockpit. That looks awesome. Ground control to Major Tom right there. So these people flying this plane, right? These people flying this plane right here. That doesn't look so good. It looks kind of like they're going towards the ground. We're going to go to that image here. These people flying the plane right there is they have all that data, all of those measures to tell them everything's working. And likewise, if you're running a car dealership, you're going to have this numeric descriptive statistic. And this numeric descriptive statistic of the expected value or the mean, expected value or the mean of the random variable, how many cars you sell each day, and the probability of that occurring, right? You're going to calculate the expected value or the mean. And this is what you can expect. Like, we need to be selling 1.5 cars per day. And if you're doing that, things are running well, right? The ship is continuing to fly. But if you're not doing that, you got to figure it out and right the ship. And so just like pilots have this cockpit to tell them, how is the ship going, which is the actual airplane they're flying, people at a car dealership or any other business are going to use these numeric descriptive statistics to tell them how is their plane flying, which is their business, right? How is their business going? And if it's not hitting 1.5 car sales, on average, the mean, right? If they're not getting that expected value on a consistent basis, they need to right the ship. They need to figure out what's going on and fix it. So the expected value is a weighted average of the values the random variable may assume. The weights are the probabilities. The expected value does not have to be a value the random variable can assume. So you can see that here. We can't literally sell 1.5 cars per day. Thank you for buying half that car. We'll be with you in a minute. We're going to go cut it in half for you, right? You can't do that. But like, what's the moving average? So over 10 days, how many cars did we sell? Did we sell 15 cars over 10 days? Cool. We've been selling 1.5 a day. And that is our expected value based upon our probability, our discrete probability distribution. So that's expected value. And then there's also variance and standard deviation. We're going to do that one in the next video because we're at 12 minutes, 42 seconds. I was raised by my family lineage is my dad came from Canada and my mom came from the South. And so every now and then, I don't know why, like I was raised at home when I was a kid where my mom would just read to me and talk to me in a Southern accent. Every now and then I find myself slipping into a Southern accent when I'm explaining stuff or just, I don't know. I'm a mystery even to myself, but that's why you hear a little bit of the Southern twang in my voice. See you in the next video where we're going to do variance and standard deviation.